Rockstar is the Steven Spielberg of video games. What makes Spielberg one of the greatest directors ever is how he has mastered kid-friendly movies like E.T. to some of the most gut-wrenching movies like Schindler's List, and everything in between. And Rockstar is the same. They've mastered both ends of the spectrum in terms of tone. While they follow their own formula for open-world games, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption are on opposite ends of the tonal bridge. One is a hilarious, over-the-top satirical orgy of chaotic madness with limitless player freedom, and the other is a deeply grounded, depressing, gritty tale of loss and redemption with a dark brutality to its world. But there was one time when Rockstar crossed over these two franchises and made a Grand Theft Auto with an oppressive tone, while maintaining its biting satirical commentary. GTA 4 is the black sheep of the franchise. Every core mechanic in this game is just a little different from the rest of the series. It's the first over-the-shoulder shooter, yet it still maintains health bars. The driving is quite awkward and overly realistic, which clashes wildly with the lack of flat open terrain to drive through, which is where most of my criticisms lie. But it's also the only Grand Theft Auto game that takes its protagonist and narrative extremely seriously. Niko Bellic is a fascinating character to examine. He arrives in Liberty City with nothing but the clothes on his back, and is overwhelmed by the eccentricity of this intimidating metropolis, which is reflected by the towering heights and intricacy of the map design. Previous GTAs had simpler and smaller map designs, with several open areas to try and ease players into the sandbox, but GTA 4 is set purely within a city, with only winding roads and sharp turns to guide you. There aren't really any places where you can floor it and go full throttle. The city is overpowering, all-consuming, and above all, a symbol. See, GTA 4 gives us a view of American culture in a way we've never seen the series before, as an outsider. Other games play up their wacky and vibrant protagonists with brightly coloured locales and an emphasis on mayhem and comedy. But GTA 4 shows us what America looks like to someone who has never lived in such a bustling place. The city feels claustrophobic, and that's by design because it's supposed to feel restrictive to Niko. He has to navigate this whole new world and find the one rat he's looking for in this open-air sewer network, and the culture shock he has to this world is apparent as he's constantly amazed by the attitudes of those in power here. It's so alien from his homeland and military life that you'd expect the most capable and strong-willed men to be in control, but instead, gangsters hide behind their minions and operate in the shadows. You'd think that this would mean that Niko wouldn't respect any of them, and you'd be right. I don't think he respects any of the leaders in particular, but the game cleverly explains to us why Niko does so many favors. One criticism I have of Rockstar is that they'll write deeply reserved and antisocial protagonists and then have them complete every request asked of them. Niko is the most isolated character they've ever created. Before the game starts, the only friend he has in this city is his cousin. Everyone else is someone he doesn't know, so he has to prove himself to all of them and build a network to help him find the rat. He keeps himself distant from everyone around him, which makes him feel scared. The reason he doesn't connect with anyone is because he can't trust anyone after he was betrayed, and he helps these criminals because he can't do this on his own. Another possible reason is because his life was based on orders and military, he thinks that following orders is the only option he has, and rebelling isn't in his vocabulary. But the critical moment in every Rockstar protagonist's journey is the moment when they break down their walls and expose their true feelings to a complete stranger, so we the players can be directly told what their greatest fears are. Niko's comes when he's having dinner with his boss's wife. She asks him if he fears for his soul, and he responds by recounting the war crimes he's committed and stating that he has no soul, and then it all clicks together. The reason he's so eager to go on these suicidal missions, the reason why he abandoned his whole life to come to this new country and give some purpose or meaning to his life. He doesn't think of himself as human. He's wholly desensitized to murder. He doesn't even think of himself as someone worthy of saving. This gives the franchise's iconic rampages a much bleaker tone in GTA 4. As in other games, there's no discernible reason why a protagonist might start mowing down civilians, aside from Trevor. The only reason they would do that is because the player wants to have some fun. But with Niko, we can view this as the moment he snaps from PTSD, when the monster that butchered all those innocent children takes over his mind, and in a cloud of rage, the beast inside comes roaring out, and the bystanders are the ones who pay the price. Niko isn't killing people because it's a video game, he's doing it because he's a broken man with nothing left, and every time the player goes on a rampage, it's seen as a moment when Niko's psyche shatters, and he becomes a dangerous threat. We will never get another GTA like GTA 4, because in today's climate, having a mentally ill illegal immigrant committing spree killings in a major American city would be a massive red flag for people on every side of the political spectrum. And while Rockstar still has Red Dead Redemption to tell their profound narratives, I can't deny that having that oppressive tone in the modern day felt much more impactful than watching John and Arthur come to terms with the birth of modern day capitalism. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about the towns of Red Dead Redemption 2.